Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. You may or may not know, but we're celebrating 5 years at Maker Pipe since the original Kickstarter and the launch of the standard connectors. To celebrate 5 years, we've launched the Pro T connectors that you can pre-order for a limited time with discounts and free gifts based on your bundle and free US shipping. The link is in the description if you want to check those out. We've been celebrating all month with the community and also with the team here at the shop. Tonight, we're doing a little get-together event with the team, and we're going to be watching a movie on a massive 300-inch screen, but if you look behind me, there is no screen yet. And that's because we've got to build the frame for the screen first. And I think it's fitting that we use the Pro connectors because this thing has got to be big. I want to bring you guys along for the build in case you want to get some inspiration and build one for you and your family to have a movie night. Because the structure is going to be so big, I wanted to make sure that I planned it out accordingly beforehand. I used some of the Maker Pipe minis to plan out the build exactly how I'm going to make it in real life with 1-inch EMT conduit and the Pro connectors. I've got a list of measurements here, and some of these pipes need to be longer than 10 foot, so we're going to use some simple and easy hacks in order to make some of these pipe lengths longer than 10 foot. Now, I've got my plan here. I'm going to start by building the back part that's going to hold the projector screen, and then we're going to go through the build and I'll show you guys some stuff along the way. Let's do it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and made my first few cuts and laid out the conduit in the shape of the projector screen. And I'm using this portable bandsaw to make the cuts. You don't have to, the pipe and tube cutter works perfectly. I just want to save some time. And because the structure is so big, there's not a ton of cuts because most of these lengths are actually 10 foot and they even need to be longer than 10 foot. So what we're doing to achieve longer than 10 foot spans is you can get these couplers from your local hardware store. 1-inch EMT couplers, and the way they work is you slide the EMT into them and then you use a drill or a screwdriver to secure them in place. Now, because it's such a long span, it's not going to be that strong unsupported, so we're going to go through and add some supports later on, but first we're just going to build this rectangle on the ground. For the connectors, we're using T connectors, the 1-inch Pro T connectors in the corners, all 4 corners there. But that's the basic frame, and we're just gonna go ahead and put that together, and I'll come back and let you know what we're doing next. All right, so I got the main frame built. This is gonna actually hold the projector screen, and I just added those end-to-end couplers where needed, and then T connectors. What I didn't explain earlier is I basically just did the same thing in the middle, just add 2 more braces. Next, I'm going to add these 10-foot poles vertically. They're gonna be the legs that they're gonna stand on. So I'm gonna add those now, and then we're gonna do one more technique to brace this from side to side. We'll be able to add the back braces and we'll be pretty close to being finished. All right, as you can see, we're getting really close. What I did was I raised up the backdrop, and then I added the vertical 10-foot poles, and then those poles in the back are 9 foot. And then I added the poles from that 9-foot pipe that's gonna be like an L shape on the ground up to the backdrop just to give it some more support. Added 2 of those per side. We're pretty well braced on the bottom there. Once we raise it up, I may add some more, but I think it's pretty good for now. We're gonna do one more security measure kind of on the back. So we sell these crossover clamps that are made for 3/4 inch EMT where you put 2 pieces of 3/4 inch top of each other, but you can actually use them to connect 1-inch EMT to 3/4 inch EMT. So I'm gonna add 4 of these, 1 on each of these bars, and I'm gonna add 3/4 inch all the way across just to reinforce this back frame. And once again, it's longer than 10 foot, so I'm just gonna do the same thing I did for the front and, or bottom, I guess, and top pipe. A few weeks ago, we did a video on making end-to-end connections with a lot of different methods. And this is really basic, but you can get a lot more secure using some threaded inserts and some threaded rod or bolts. So check out that video if you want to learn some other ways that you can secure. But for now, I'm going to stick with this simple method. May change it later. After I finished adding the cross brace on the back, I wanted to lift it up, so I went and got some help from Dave. We set it up right, and as you can see, it wasn't as sturdy as it should be. What we realized was the bottom braces were too long and weren't actually offering much support, especially higher up on the frame. Dave had a couple of good ideas for changes to the frame, and because the connectors can easily be loosened and moved, we got back to work. All right, so as you just saw, we did a test raise. We had to make some adjustments to how it's supported. So if you guys remember, on the back, we had those 4 pipes that were going from the very back all the way up to this bar down here, but that wasn't giving it enough support up high. So all we did was move that lower pipe in some, and then we cut this 10-foot piece and just went from the middle, from where the crossover clamps were connected, and then went down to that, making kind of a sled structure. And now it's really solid, and this thing is ginormous. All we gotta do now is put the screen on there. All right guys, so there it is. It is massive. To attach the screen to the frame, just picked up some of these ball bungees from Harbor Freight. I think they're cheaper on Amazon, but I didn't order any ahead of time, so I just picked those up from Harbor Freight because they weren't too bad. All right guys, we finally got it together. As you can see, it's massive. All that's left to do is to watch a movie on it. So we got the full team here. We're gonna do like a drive-up style movie. Remember, everything's linked down below if you wanna build it yourself. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.